going on, guys? It's your boy Weaponized DX back again with another video. I know it's kind of been a while, but today I do have some gameplay for you guys, but it's going to be kind of a little bit different. It's more of an opinion piece today. Really just talking about the new Star Wars trilogy. Just got through recently seeing the Rise of Skywalker, so I just kind of wanted to do a video and talk a little bit about it and just what I think about Disney's trilogy and going forward. But would like to say, first of all, I am a kind of a closet Star Wars nerd. Like, I've got like a trunk full of Star Wars books in my closet. Been playing all the different games and watching all the different TV series and basically just consuming as much Star Wars content as I can over the years. So I'm definitely a longtime fan. Definitely, I guess what you can consider a hardcore fan. I mean, I don't necessarily like wear all the Star Wars swag or anything like that, but definitely a huge fan. And my thoughts on the new trilogy. I mean, I like it. Probably my favorite part about it is just some of the characters, the new characters. I definitely really liked a lot of the new characters, and I thought the movies were fun. That's probably my two main positive points on the new trilogy. But as far as, like, I'm just gonna jump right into it. My main issue with the new trilogy, really just starts with just the leadership and just the agenda that I feel like was pushed and kind of came across just from a fan's perspective on the new movies. So where I feel like the whole thing kind of really fell off for me was that middle movie, the The Last Jedi, right in the middle of the trilogy there. And definitely with the leadership with Kathleen Kennedy and Rian Johnson and J.J. Abrams to an extent, I just felt like they had their own agenda, and just as a fan, you didn't feel like their goal was to make the best Star Wars movie possible. Even in the beginning, where now it's coming out that George had kind of wrote an outline for them for their trilogy, and they basically threw it out and did their own thing. Just from a fan's perspective, that's not something that you want to hear. That's not a good look. Like, it's so just from that decision, I felt like right there, that's them getting off on the wrong foot. And it's hard to really, like, I don't want to bash them at all, the leadership at all, because they have a really tough position to be in. Nowadays, anybody who's at the head of a successful franchise, I feel like it's in a really tough position, because there's, upholding the quality of your franchise, and then there's this thing nowadays of, these different social justice agendas in the SJW community and the, LGBTQ community. It's a lot of pushing, business to try to capture that audience and to put out, a product that, that fan base will enjoy, because it's kind of like an easy win now. If you put out something that can be consumed by those fan bases, and liked by those fan bases, it's probably going to be a success. So with, the trilogy, it just felt like there was that agenda coming across, because they had a lot of strong female characters, but it felt like at the same time they were downplaying a lot of the male characters, which just felt weird, because it's like they made Han Solo a deadbeat dad in the first movie. They basically turned Luke Skywalker into a coward, having him hide on that planet for the majority of the new kind of era that they were introducing. And it just, from a fan's perspective, it just didn't feel quite right. Something about that just felt off. And while I really, really liked Rey as a new character, just how fast they introduced her and just, the way they went about certain story elements, it definitely, you saw the agenda come through. It felt like they were almost ticking off boxes. Like, we want to have this happen, we want to have this happen, we want to put this type of fan in the seat, we want to entertain this type of fan. And anytime you have a franchise, and I feel like this goes for pretty much any, successful franchise, if, agenda is taking place over the mission of just putting out the best quality product you can and upholding the integrity of the franchise, is going to come across to the fans. And I just feel like that's a problem. Like, that's a huge problem. Going forward, I feel like the focus really just needs to be on making the best product that they can. That needs to be the focus. And while I can't really be too mad at them for the approach they took, because you want to create new fans, you want to get different people into Star Wars, and ultimately increase your fan base and increase your profits at the end of the day, which is what I feel like it's really about. You gotta have the leadership in place that wants to make the best product possible. Like, And while I definitely felt like they wanted to do that, there was definitely agendas that came through. And from a fan, when you're watching that and you see, you know, agendas being pushed, you know, while you're trying to enjoy this, you know, franchise that you've enjoyed for so long, it just puts a bad taste in your mouth. So for me, that's where the franchise went wrong. Just as a whole, looking at Star Wars now with this franchise being in place, the new franchise, I feel like it's gone down slightly. It's gone down slightly. There's the quality of Star Wars and the kind of the name and brand in general of Star Wars. I feel like it's gone down a little bit just from this last trilogy, because it definitely felt like they didn't know what they really wanted to do, and they started off with an agenda and with a plan, and once they saw how the fan base was reacting to it, they really quickly recanted. Like once, you know, having now seen The Rise of Skywalker, they basically spent that whole movie, without spoiling anything, they spent that entire movie basically trying to undo, you know, what Rian Johnson did with, The Last Jedi. So that's, for me, you know, moving forward would be my biggest worry, or my biggest piece of advice to them, is you got to get people on board who the agenda is to make the best product possible. Like, if you look at The Mandalorian, I've got a lot of friends who aren't even real big Star Wars fans who absolutely love that show. And with the showrunners and the people that have in charge, it definitely, you can tell that they're fans and they're really passionate, and their goal is to make the best, you know, product possible. And yes, while the show is getting some flack, and you have some different people who, you know, if they don't feel like the product you're putting out is geared directly towards them, and then it's a problem. You have those people out there, but overall the show is doing really great, and it's getting great reviews, and people are loving it. And I think that's going to be the key for them moving forward is, hey, you know, all we care about, we want to put out the absolute best product we can. You know, we're not trying to cater to one type of fan or the other. We want to just put out the best product we can that is going to, you know, make all the, you know, fans happy. So I think if they can do that, then they've got a lot of potential, and they got a lot of great stuff they can do moving forward. But, you know, that's my opinion on it. You know, I really did enjoy the new movies. I thought they were fun. I really enjoyed them. I thought in some ways they were better even than the prequel trilogy. But moving forward, they got to get George Lucas back involved. That's just, I mean, he is Star Wars, so I just think that's something they got to do. They got to get him back involved. They've got to put people in charge. And I think that's what they're trying to move towards now, who are really passionate about Star Wars and who are real Star Wars fans, and who on the kind of totem pole of their own agenda and their own vision, and then the quality of the movies. I feel like for them, the quality of the movies and just putting out a great product for the fans has to be a little bit higher up than their own vision even, I feel like. There's certain things you got to kind of look at and be like, you know, that's just how you should weigh your decisions. I feel like it's got to be about, at the end of the day, we want to put out the best thing we possibly can. So, overall, though, I enjoyed the trilogy, but moving forward, definitely some changes got to be made, I feel like, in the leadership department. And not necessarily, I'm not trying to be like, oh, they just got to just fire everybody and this. No, I don't think that's going to be the answer. I just think that, you know, they've got to understand that, you know, they got to start from a place of true north of, hey, we want to make the best product possible, and, you know, all agendas and all, you know, the, you know, other stuff aside, that's what we're trying to do first. And if you do that first, you will make the money, you will expand the fan base, you will, you know, because it's Star Wars, people are going to buy it, people are going to consume it, because it's just huge and it has a lot of fans. But, you know, I think if you're overstretching to try to, you know, include or not even include, just to like make your own thing, I feel like they can overstretch with that, and they can end up kind of risking the quality of the franchise overall and what they have going right now. So so overall, yeah, I mean, I really do enjoy the new movies. Everything aside, you know, mistakes aside, missteps aside, I really enjoyed them. And moving forward, I think they've got a lot of really cool things that they can do. I'm looking forward to it, honestly. I'm looking forward to see what Disney does with it, and to what some of the people that they're bringing in to work on the projects, you know, will do with it. But quick shout out, there's this one scene that, you know, Rise of Skywalker has really, really good. You'll know when you see the movie. It's like a flashback scene, but that's all I'm going to say about that. But I thought that was really cool, just by the way. But hey, that's it for the video, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe, and definitely get the conversation going in the comment section. But hey, until next time, it's been Weaponized EX, and that's it. Thank you guys so much.